Hello everyone, this is Polygon Wizard with a Battlefield 4 commentary for you. Today I'm going to be going over some of my thoughts on the beta now that it's over and the long 2-week wait or so till release is on us. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of thoughts on kind of how the beta went, what I most enjoyed in it, and what I'm looking forward to in full release. Try and go through all that. So first of all, I want to give DICE some props for the way the beta went. Like, at first it didn't run super well and everybody was having problems with it, including me, but they put out 3 separate patches, I believe, if I remember. They put out lots of patches throughout the whole beta period, and I think that's awesome. They fixed stuff, and by the end it was running smoothly for me. I didn't have any of the stuttering and frame rate issues I had early on, and it was really awesome. Now, what I'm hoping that indicates is in the full game comes that they're going to be super frequent with being able to patch things and stuff. I don't want them to patch things all the time, but I don't want it to be, months and months in between things either. If there's something that happens to be broken, like in the beta when things weren't running super smoothly, I want them to be able to fix it. So I hope this, indicates that they'll be able to do that with the full game. During the beta, I played all the game modes. I played Domination early on, and I played Conquest, and I played the Obliteration when they added that. I didn't play a ton of Obliteration, but it's pretty fun. I think that's going to be really a super huge blast, getting a whole bunch of people in there all in organized teams. Because playing it with randoms, it's a little bit kind of crazy. At first, when they had no timer on the mode, it would last forever or 2 seconds because one team would just completely overrun it. What I like about the mode is it concentrates everybody really close together, so you're all chasing the bomb and it makes it super action-packed. But also, if you have 2 great teams, it can really bog down, and it can be fun battling back and forth until it's a stalemate, until someone finally breaks through. So it has variety, lots of action, really fun. There's also stupid people in it, but I think that's just part of people learning how to do a game mode and then just people messing around in the beta. It does allow for some really cool, crazy Battlefield moments too, like when you're fighting to get a bomb and then you pick it up and then you actually manage to break out of the, crazy insanity and get away and plant it on a bomb site. That is some crazy fun moments that you can get in that mode, so I think it's cool. I played it before they added a timer and after. I think it's better with a timer, although I don't know, 20 minutes is almost maybe too short, or maybe the timer needs to start as soon as somebody sets off a bomb or something else. I don't know. It just seemed like it was neither way was perfect to me, so I'm not sure exactly what I would do to it. No way's going to be perfect, really, but I do think the timer's better than not having one at all, so that's cool. I mostly played Conquest throughout the beta because that's kind of my bread and butter game mode when it comes to Battlefield. I like Rush as well, but that's highly dependent on teams. So if I'm not playing with anybody, I usually just jump into Conquest, because it gives me the room to run around and affect things, whether I'm doing it in a tank, like in this gameplay, which I'll talk about in a minute, or just run around on foot, or, flying a chopper or whatever, and playing whatever class I want. I think that's something that's really cool in the beta, is that at least on this map and with how the beta plays in Conquest, you can play any class you want and it's completely viable. You can be on foot the whole time, and there's some areas the vehicles can't go, and you can be very instrumental to the match. You can also jump in a vehicle and be in a tank, and you can be very helpful, but it doesn't dominate quite as much as they could in Battlefield 3 on some of the maps. The more I played Cedar Shanghai, the more I liked this map. Got so many crazy battles on the outer flags more towards the end. At first, everybody's fighting over the building in the middle. They want to be in the tower, they want to be in the skyscraper, they want to knock it down, all that crazy stuff. But as the beta went on, people started spreading out a little bit more, or just not rushing all the way there all the time. There's still crazy, fights atop the, tower or in the rubble when it's down. But there's also fights, in the other flags. I've had some fights in the underground flag with the sort of metro style area one. I've had some crazy battles in the parking garage near the spawns. I've had crazy battles along, this flag here that you're seeing, the one that's the D flag, I believe, the one that's Domination as well. Had crazy fights at the other flag, the E flag. So One of the most fun things I had was getting on the enemy's gimme flag, so in this case that would be the E flag, and then just trying to hold it as long as possible while all the enemy team pours in, because it almost never stops. It can be crazy. Like, oh, so much fun. So I really enjoyed playing Conquest in this beta. It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to the full game. I haven't talked about tanks much. I haven't seen too many people talking about the tanks or vehicles in general, other than just some overview. But I'm really liking it so far. Like, as I got used to, like, the differences in how positioning in Battlefield 3 was pretty important as far as what side of the tank you show, but it's even more so now, and also aiming your shots on here. So you can't just get a side shot anymore and have it expected to do a ton of damage. If you hit high enough on the side, it's still just as like the same as hitting them in the front, pretty much. You have to hit them in the treads. And the drop on the shells now is quite a bit more, so you just have to get a little bit more used to it if you've been a lot of vehicle tank driving in Battlefield 3. It's a bit different, but once you get used to it on where you have to aim, I like it better. I think it's gonna, require a bit more skill for long-range shots. When you're up close, it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference, but enough that it's slightly different, has a little bit of a different feel. I really like the damage models on here too, because like you hit the treads and it kills the mobility of the tank. The different mechanics here, I guess is what I should have said. And hitting a tank in the rear is even more important now. Like if you hit a it's in the back, it's devastating. So if you're driving a tank, you do not want to let people get behind you at all, even more so than it has even in the past. I like the way just vehicles in general now have the disables and stuff and then recover that's different from Battlefield 3. I'm going to have to do it a long while before I decide if I like it better necessarily. It definitely makes the vehicles a little bit less super overpowered, which I actually think is probably good. I think, at least for this map and the way it's played out in the beta, like vehicles and infantry and everything together seems to be pretty balanced as far as who can control what. There are places where infantry only can go, like under the bridges, and there's places where the vehicles, like the tanks, do very well. There's places where the boat, like the sea flag, when it's down rubble, the boat can really devastate on that flag right there. So I think this map at least is pretty balanced the way I've gotten used to it. You're going to have people up on rooftops sniping, but so what? I mean, that's actually kind of viable for mobility too, like jumping rooftop to rooftop is fun. If you couldn't get on the buildings, getting from side to side would be a lot slower. Like sometimes if I'm on the B flag especially, there's a building with an elevator up there. You can climb on it, you can parachute into the middle, and it's faster than just running there or swimming there. Same if you're on the other side, you can get on the really tall building and you can go all the way across the waterway. And of course, if you have the C flag, you can spawn on the top of the building and jump around everywhere. I just think that's a really cool aspect of parachuting, dropping on a roof, looking to see if it's clear, jumping off again, and it's just an interesting dynamic to this map that's different than what Battlefield 3 had. Sure, you're gonna have your rooftop campers, but just grab a chopper and go shoot them, or use like an airburst thing or a mortar in the full game, or go up an elevator and knife them if you don't, if they don't have a trap set for you at the top, whatever. There are options if people are up there. Besides, if they're up top in the buildings, they're not going to be able to do much as far as capping flags goes, so whatever, leave them up there. They can have their fun, and it's alright. And, it is good if they're up there spotting choppers or tanks and things with their laser designator because of the lock-on aspect with the RPGs, which I kind of hope. They've talked about a couple different things. Maybe you're taking it out altogether, the lock-on for the RPGs, or just nerfing the damage. I hope they just kind of take it out altogether, but leave in the lock-on for other launcher types, so that I like the idea of it, whereas like the engineer has something out there, there will be people out there who can lock onto things, so the recons will actually use their designators. I don't want that to be gotten rid of because that's kind of cool, but if the RPG is going to be as powerful as it is in the beta, that's kind of a little bit overboard. Plus, it's an RPG, so everybody uses RPG all the time because it's so versatile. If it can also lock onto air vehicles and stuff like that too, that's just a little bit too powerful, and no one's going to want to use the other launchers, which is a shame because some of the ones that we're supposed to be getting, I think, sound like they'll be fun. I'm looking forward to trying those out, so that's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to in the full release is more weapons and more gadgets to try out. We got several in the beta, but we didn't get all of them, so that'll be neat to have new stuff. It's definitely new maps will be cool. There's like a bunch of them that I think look really awesome. Hopefully they're as good as you know, what the trailers and things suggest that they could be, you know? Like this one actually was one of the ones I wasn't looking forward to at all. Well, I was, you know, ooh, the tower comes down, it's cool, but as far as what we saw in footage, I was thinking that it would be not quite as much fun as it is, but I've actually had a blast on it, so like this map has definitely grown on me a lot. So I'm hoping that, you know, maybe this one's their worst map. If this is the worst map in the game and all the other ones are better, that would be really sweet. So yeah, as far as multiplayer goes, I'm looking forward to the maps and the weapons and gadgets. Definitely the engineer, that's my class. Haven't talked about it much. Maybe I'll do a video like on what type of battlefielder I am and, you know, what types of things I generally go for, you know, because everybody plays different. That's the beauty of Battlefield. It caters to so many different play styles and types of players, whether you're just someone who can go in there and slay everyone, or you just jump on the objectives and sneak around the sides and, you know, catch enemies unawares, anything, you know, like you can want to jump in vehicles, you don't want to jump in vehicles. I think that's cool that this game caters to all of that. So maybe I should do a video in the future on, you know, what I like to do in Battlefield games. You know, if that's something you guys would be interested in, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do it. And if there's any suggestions on other kinds of videos you'd like to see me do, please let me know. You know, suggestions are awesome. You know, sometimes it's hard to come up with ideas, and you know, if you guys will have something you want to see, I'm more than happy to do it. And one final thing that I'm looking forward to in Battlefield 4 that most of you are going to be like, what? You're crazy. Single player campaign. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think that it's going to be better this time than Battlefield 3. And I know DICE can do fun campaigns because I really enjoyed the ones from Bad Company and Bad Company 2 especially. Like even something like Mirror's Edge, I kind of like the campaign, not story-wise, but just the level design-wise and stuff. So I know that they can do good single-player stuff. So hopefully, you know, what they've talked about, what they want to do with single-player this time as far as the level design being more open and bringing some of the cool multiplayer stuff into single-player, as far as how things play out, I think they're saying all the right things. So hopefully they can actually pull it together and it'll be, you know, a fun campaign, a fun way to spend a few hours, probably, you know, 6 hours or something like that, the way campaigns go nowadays. So I'm looking forward to trying that out, and, you know, hopefully it turns out as well as I want it to be, or, you know, even better. So, you know, if it's an improvement over Battlefield 3, which I think was average at best, you know, it wasn't terrible. It had some fun moments in it. So if this can do the same, maybe raise the bar at least a little bit even, or a whole lot, then that'll be really, really cool. Plus, you know, single player, you know, looks even better than multiplayer as far as what they're able to push graphics-wise. So I like playing through for the eye candy aspect as well. So I don't know if any of you guys are interested in single player or not. I am. Maybe I'll do a video on it or something after I play it. Maybe not. Who knows? You know, if no one's interested, why do a video, right? Well, maybe I'll do one, maybe not. Let me know if you guys would be interested in sort of like a single player review or something once the game comes out. So I think I'm going to wrap it all up now. This is Polygon Wizard again, and I suck at outros. So that's another thing I'll ask you guys for. I've been kind of wondering what I should do for an outro. I've just done sort of generic, you know, we'll see you next time kind of a deal. But if you guys have a suggestion for what you think a cool outro I could say, you know, or a cool sign off would be for, you know, me, let me know, because I've been trying to come up with one and they all stink. It's terrible. So anyway, I'll stick with my generic one for now. Please leave suggestions, comments, give me a like, and, you know, we'll see you in the next video.